What's up, guys? I hope we are having a good connection right now because I tried maybe half an hour ago and it was not really working and could not get live. Now it looks like it should be fine. So let me know if anybody's there. So if we can have this live working, properly. So obviously it's a very tough period, a very special situation going on everywhere around the world, especially outside of China now. And I'm here in Shanghai. So we have kind of been through the whole period that now it's actually coming to most of the rest of the world, especially Europe, I know US, and of course Korea, and I don't know about Australia, but it really doesn't look so good. So I just wanted to talk about this for a second. We can still keep tennis, alive as a topic in terms of the spirit and the fighting and all this. I just wanted to give a couple of tips and advice, and if you have any questions regarding this, please, I will be very happy if I can give you any tips, or I can share any experience I had regarding your questions or problems. It's very tough period, so I think we should use now this. It's extremely difficult, and it's. I just feel I have a duty or obligation, to share everything I know about the virus and how to protect. I know there are many sources, many information everywhere, and it's always very useful to get educated about the virus. But I can give you my personal experiences and how everything worked here and how we managed to go through this situation. I think the world has to follow this, and of course I'm not able to reach so many people, but at least if I can affect one of you, if you can do something differently, and that could possibly help you to stay safer, and you can also spread this knowledge or share this knowledge with somebody else. I think it's this time is worth it, like this maybe half an hour or 40 minutes that I'm willing to talk about this. It's definitely worth it, and I will try to do it even more often, because the more people become aware of it, and I think it's really, it can be crucial. It can make the difference in the end. So yeah, again, I just wanted to talk about the current situation, and possibly we can tie into the topic something that you could do at home, or how you can do some training or exercises off the court, but first and foremost is talking about the safety and the measures you need to do in order to keep yourself safe, really depending where you are. But I'm pretty sure now the whole world is kind of in dangerous moment situation, and that's it. So I just want to also put the comment here, so if somebody is just joining at certain moments in the middle of the conversation that and again, please drop the comment. You can ask any questions or share any experiences you had that you think it might help somebody else here. We could have maybe 10-20 people here, and then plus or minus, and now it's not the greatest time. I wanted to do it earlier. It was not good connection, but anyways, again, if we help one person there, it's amazing. So something like let's fight Corona together. Share your experience. So I'll pin this comment. Anyways, just just in general, to talk about this situation, it's here it's getting much better. So people are getting back to work, and I was in the city yesterday, and it almost looked pretty much normal. A little bit less people in metro, but still it's and the coffee shops, like some restaurants are still closed, but it looks like the city is kind of uh, waking up again, almost like springtime, and the nature is also like flourishing, and it looks like it's the tough period is behind, but you always have to stay cautious. But I want to say that definitely these people here and the government, they really have a good experience with this, because obviously they know exactly what they're doing. And you might as well know that they had this experience with the SARS, the virus that was before. It was a different type of virus, but it was not spread out so easily. It was more dangerous, more deadly, like the percentage rate, but definitely huge experience, and I'm sure it really helped for this situation here, for coronavirus, and they really did amazing job with everything they did so far. I'm sure you all like watched the news and read about it, but I just thought if I give you some like insight, like inside information, like from personal experience, and I can also answer some questions. But definitely the something that I noticed, like it was in my mind like super extreme. It's like the very first time they were on the news, this like cases of virus, like from the very beginning, they announced like it was the law. You have to wear the mask. Like you go outside, you have to wear it. Like doesn't matter. It was in Wuhan. Like how far is it? Like thousands of kilometers away, and you still have to wear it because they were very well aware how this virus can spread out. You know, because again, you have this 2 weeks of like possibly not showing symptoms, so there could be many people walking around like feeling perfectly normal, and still having the virus, and then this is how it spreads out. So if you always take care of yourself, like everybody does it, you have those masks, so not just to protect yourself, but in case, hopefully not, like if some people they have the virus and they don't know, but they still use the mask, so at least they will prevent the virus from spreading out. So you're just not doing that for yourself, it's also for the others. So you need to think in that way, protect everybody. So I think that was the most drastic measure I felt here. It was from that first day, when you go outside, every single person was wearing masks. Okay, maybe I don't want to exaggerate. On that first day or second day after the first announcement of some cases like virus, you could see some people without masks, but majority were wearing masks. But I'm talking about the very first or second day, and now you can see in Europe how many days it's been already gone, and I hear that still people are not wearing masks, like almost nobody, in certain areas. So it's something that you should kind of just follow and listen to advice. I think if everybody does it, that's the only way that this thing can be controlled. Otherwise, if nobody is kind of caring, or they think it's fine if they just go outside, they don't go close to people, and kind of they think it's okay. If everybody thinks in that way, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna spread out like like in amazing speed. So I think that's the very first thing you should all be aware. Really depends on the area where you are. I don't know. I think there are still some countries without cases, so of course in that case it's probably okay. But if there are any cases, that means you have to be very careful, because again, those are only the reported cases. So the way I see it, and from experience here, is if there are some cases, like let's say in the beginning, for sure there are many more around, like first of all, who are not even aware of it, right? And there might be also the ones who kind of notice the symptoms but not yet reported. But the most important part is that if there are 100 cases like reported, there are of course many more like not reported but have it, and also many more who have the symptoms and they're still not aware of them, and then they're the most dangerous. They're like spreading out the most. Now I really, I don't want to come across like a smart ass here or like whatever. I really want to use this chance. Like I really have many things to do. Like I need to work on other video, but I just feel the need that I really want to share, and I'm glad there are some of you joining. So even like 10 of you, 20 of you see this, and at least if that can kind of change your behavior a bit, like I will be so happy. Like at least I would feel better. Like I did what I can. So that the first thing would be be aware of, like, you should have masks. Like I know some places it's tough to get them, but yeah, just you just have to find a way. I hope the governments, that they will also become aware of that. And I just read the news in Serbia. The president announced that they will start producing like 40,000 masks each day. So I'm really happy for that, because that means that he's aware of the situation, and we have a good relationship with China. So I'm sure they're like very well informed for all the details. Uh, so that's one thing, having mask. And then of course you want to limit your movement and how often you go outside. And if you go outside, definitely you want to avoid the crowds. I mean, at first place, everybody should avoid building the crowd, right? But if you have to go anywhere, like I know you have to go markets, the best thing is if you can get orders. If you can order the food, I'm sure most of the places you can do that. But if you go 100%, wear the mask. And this is important, do not touch your face, like no matter what. If you have a bee on your face, like whatever, just don't touch, because it's very easy to spread even through the touch. Like if you touch the surface where the somebody infected touched it, the virus can still stay there. And this is also the way how it was spreaded. So it's kind of it's spread it out through the the drops. So through the touch, if you touch your mouth or even eyes, it can be also spread if you touch your eyes. So I just say in general, don't touch anything close to your face until you wash your hands, and make sure to wash them as often as possible, and have that hand sanitizer, the liquid, the alcohol. Always carry that. Now I know in some places you might not be able to get that, but I hope I hope that will change. I hope other countries will help, with sending all the supplies. And I heard even like now China was doing that. And again, we all have to forget about all the borders and the differences and whatever. This, just have to come all together and become a team. And I made one post on Instagram this morning, and I think it's I just had this idea to kind of connect this situation and what we should do, gather together. And I just remember this one speech from Al Pacino in one of the movies, and he was like a coach for some like a football team. So they were in the locker room, like a typical motivation talk, but this was like a little bit special, and it was very strong. Like I heard it like a few years ago, but it's always somewhere in my mind. And basically, he talks about how everybody there, they have to become a team. And then he said, so look at the guy next to you, look in their eyes. Like, now I know you're gonna see the guy who will do everything for you, and this kind of thing. So and then he said, so on this team, we fight for every inch. So he talked about the little things, and then described them as inches. Like, and then he said like on this team we fight for that inch. On this team we claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because so this one I'm just saying like from my mind, I remember it's maybe not exactly wording, but and then he said because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make a freaking difference between winning and losing. And he even said between living and dying. So this was very strong, and I use this talk like just to keep in myself, in my mind, like in some difficult moments or when you have to like keep going. But now, especially now, I think it's so important. Like, and these small inches kind of represent all these small things that you can and you should do. The mask, the hand sanitizer, staying away from crowds, not touching your face, uh, spend as much time as you can at home, and just be very careful, with all these things. Get more educated, read all the news, the resources, the right one, the correct one, the most reliable ones. And I really hope that this will get under control in the same fashion as it was here. But I know that you have to do all these drastic measures. Like here, they really followed every single thing. Like the Chinese people are very, how to say, like they obey the law. And even though there are like more than a billion people, it's the most crowded place. And but if it's a great example how if every single person follows the rules and the laws and the government announcements and the advice and tips, it can be controlled. Of course, there has to be the period of exponential growth of infected and unfortunately the people who die. It's really horrible, like if you think about this. But yes, I think it's so. Again, if you follow all this and everybody comes together, then it will be controlled, right? But even so, there will be that period. Like now, it's coming in Europe, in some countries, like it's going up crazy, the numbers. And this is the period because there were those cases in the beginning, and they already infected others, but those others, they were not aware of that, so they were still walking around and actually spreading more and more. So the key is that everybody starts wearing the mask, so even those who are infected and they are not aware of it, if they have the mask, they will not spread it out. So this is what I'm saying. Wearing mask is not just to protect yourself, it's also to stop from spreading out. So I really I hope this, the more people know about it, it's going to be better. And I would just like to hear very soon that the numbers are slowing down, and the people are just doing everything they can. And yeah, I gave some more tips, like don't try to be like act brave or careless, like say, okay, it's nothing, it cannot happen. I know I made some videos about like doing fitness outside and all this during the virus, but I was always careful. It was more like motivation to kind of nothing can stop you, but you still have to be smart. Like don't be stupid. Like don't be I don't care and I don't need mask, and you go wherever. If you are like in some highly infected areas and you just go in a crowded place without mask, that's really stupid. It's not brave. Nobody will think you're brave, and actually doesn't matter what everybody thinks. Like you need to do your part. So yeah, I just had to make this live, about this. It's just I feel the need. I need to talk about it and spread the awareness as much as possible. And I know this is just like small percentage, but at least it's the people from sports. And I know it's going to be difficult, if you have to stay at home and just forget about your regular activities. You can still do a lot, and this is the second part I wanted to talk about. You can still do so many things at home. I'm sure many of you can do your works, from online, using your laptops or computers. But regarding the trainings, you can do a lot of fitness. There are many exercises. Doesn't matter how big or small your home is or apartment. You can always find a way. You can get creative. You can do, you know, mental trainings, not just physical. You can do a lot of like video analysis, watching the pros, watching all this learning, writing notes, and making some plan. Uh, Reading, you should do a lot of reading. Get some interesting books on strong mentality and on the discipline. It's something, you should turn the situation around and just say, okay, now I have the opportunity to work on this, which usually I don't have. Usually in your daily routines, you get caught up in all these things that fill up your day. But now you will have more time, so you have the option to either get lazy and kind of say, okay, what can I do? It's just like, it's a very dangerous situation. I'm just gonna stay here and I'm just gonna get lazy. Well, you're not gonna say that. You're just gonna say, I'm just gonna stay safe, and then you start watching TV or some series for hours each day. Which again, it's, of course, it's much better than going outside and getting infected or whatever. But it's up to you. You can use that time for that, or you can just turn that around, flip that, and do some good productive things. Even you can start sharing, your experience or your what you learned about. You can share that with others. So in that way, more people will get safer. You can also help others. So yeah, it's a very difficult period. So sorry, I didn't read the comments. I can read some of them now. Uh, Randy, do you think there's gonna be any cure in the next month or two? It's very tough. I think they were like predicting for this kind of thing. It can take up to 1 year until there's like this medicine that's able to be mass produced and actually approved and all this. It's a very long process, and it's very tough. French Open will be cancelled. I don't know. It's very tough to say. There's a high possibility, very high. How is the ATP 6-week freeze affecting your traveling? It's not affecting. Well, it is. I mean, I plan to go at least first to Europe, back home, now in April. But now it's going to be a very difficult decision. If you go there, you have to go into quarantine. Now, I don't know if it's going to change, because now China is becoming more safe. So if you're traveling from China somewhere, I need to just follow the news and the new regulations. Every day there's some updates, so you have to be on top of everything. Is it tough for you to practice now? Actually, not at the moment. Now everything is back to normal, and today we are starting with all the regular programs in the club. So even the indoor courts are open, and but again, there are all the safety measures. Like when you're entering the club, they're checking the temperature. You have to use the sanitizer and all this. So you still have to be careful. You're wearing mask on the way there, and then only when you're on the court, when there is space, then you can take the mask off. I just want to say you're much more knowledgeable than most people. Okay, that's about the virus. But Patrick, thanks. But it's just the circumstance. I've been around here for like 2 months. We've been through all this, so I just want to use that as opportunity to help as many of you as possible. I really want to, again, as I said, if one of you remembers some of this and acts on these tips or advice, and even share that with your friend or family, it's I'm happy with the time I spent here, because that's the whole point. Like, I think everybody should think in this way. If you have anything to say or share your experience, you should do it, because it can affect, even if it can affect one person, then that's amazing. If everybody would do that. So I hope that some of you here who hear this, you can, next time you're with some friend and you can share this story, or oh, this guy, like he was talking there on this live, and he said, what was happening in China, and this and this and this uh, is really necessary. Let's do this from today, or and this is how you spread the positive and the good vibes, and also the advice. I think we should all do this. Thank you. Hello, do you know if Milan has died? What's this? It's a joke, okay? Okay, we can have some jokes. It's not end of the world, of course. Thank you, military medicine here in Washington State. We need to change this on individual community level. I agree. Thanks, Kyle. It's a must. And again, this is the purpose. I know I have this. It's a tennis channel, and we have the tennis people here. But again, I hope that the people who see this, they can talk to their friends who are not tennis people, and somehow, the point is everybody should do something like this who has experience. Okay. How did you get the masks? Thanks for the video. It already provided me with new information. That's great, Sean. That's the point. Please, act on the information, or like share it. How did you get the masks? I guess here it's easier to just order masks, or buy them, and because again, this place and the government, the country, they were much more and well prepared for this, with the experience of SARS. So they knew it. They knew what they had to do, all the steps, and this is why they know exactly now, like when they can allow people to go back to work, because they know that now everything is under control. Even though I would still feel a bit risky, oh wow, you go in this metro, now everybody's there. But if you think about, they know exactly what to follow. Like, they follow the statistics. So definitely for the last, I don't know how many days, it must be like at least 10 days or 2 weeks, there were not many new cases. Let's say for Shanghai, there were many days with 0 new cases, right? So if there's a time span that's like past, if it's 10 days or 2 weeks, no new cases, that means that even though all those people who are like around, without being aware that they have it, you know they would get the virus. I mean, they would get the symptoms and get checked, so they will get reported. But it didn't happen for the 2 weeks period of 10 days, or whatever they estimate it to be, or they know how to keep track the numbers, the graphs of that. And so that means now, like, for the most part, almost pretty much all the people now in the city who are around, nobody can basically be infected, because there was that period of, I guess, 2 weeks in incubation period, how it's called. So nobody is actually able to spread more because it's safe. But still, everybody's wearing masks, and now I don't know how long this is going to be, but I guess we'll just have to see. It's a first time for me to be in this situation, of course. I'm in the state of Florida, Ernie, in the US. We have approximately 21.5 million people living here. There have been 155 cases, and that's, I believe, media going crazy with this. Yeah, I know that many people, they think that they believe that media over exaggerates things. They always make everything like much more like dangerous than it is, or they like to make this boom news so everybody's reading, they get the attention. But I don't think you will be crazy or make a mistake if you really like believe in media or follow. It's always better to be more precautious than to be too much laid back and like careless, and which can cause like many bad things. As I said, you could get infected without knowing it, and then you spreading it to others. This is why I said wearing mask is critical. in those stages, not touching face much more important, but still good advice. Yes, yes, I said, do not touch the face, when you're outside. Florida is a dense zone, much older population, and high rates of infection will be seen. Dangerous, yeah, dangerous zone. Yeah, it's this virus is kind of targeting elderly, older people, and yeah, I read the news, and the president of Serbia, he was talking about how we have to fight for our parents, for our older older family members and friends and the people around, because they, of course, they're all like super important to us, and they have all the wisdom, and they are in danger. So we, like the young people and athletes, of course, nobody's 100% safe, and you cannot say you would, like, if you, even if you get a virus, you should be fine. It's not a case for anybody. Literally, you have to be super aware of that. Yes, the stats, go into the favor of like younger people, of course, but there were also cases with just middle-aged people or younger, like people, passing. It's very, very serious, because you don't know what is your body like, like the metabolism and the immune system, and the virus is pretty strong. So just have to act together and be safe, smart, and patient. I think patience here is very important. It's the key. And if you just think about what's your priority, are you gonna do you want to stay safe, or you want to risk your safety because you cannot kind of stay patient and maybe change your life routines for some time. What's more important? So I guess you think in this way. Of course, you want to stay safe, do whatever it takes. uh, what's your opinion in the responsibilities of the federations in regards to the coaches that are affected on the quarantine time? Are they responsible on give any orientation to the coaches that are affected on the quarantine time? Yeah, I know this is very tough. It's also, I'm sure it affects many, not just coaches, but many people around the world, like the professionals in any field. Anytime you travel, you have to be stuck somewhere. And but you're right, the coaches, the tennis coaches, and maybe some other sports, we are a little bit more affected because when we get in the quarantine, we cannot work. Our work is on the court or on the fields, whatever. You can still probably do some coaching or like online, but it's way different. Not really much it can be done. It's you just have to follow the not the rules. It is the rule, of course. Now it's the rule. You have to obey, and this is, of course, just as an extreme precautionary measure, just to avoid, even the smallest chance being affected without knowing it. If you feel fine and you travel, and then you think, why would I go to this 2 weeks quarantine? Uh, but you cannot know if you got infected or not until the symptoms appear, and this can happen only in 2 weeks. So it's very, very difficult. Small steps every day. Exactly, Liam. That's exactly what this is all about. We have to fight with our claw. We have to claw with our fingernails for every inch. Like, you have to think this way. Be smart, patient. What is your calf injury? Hey, John. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I started to play slowly, but still not like 100% there. People are going crazy buying toilet paper. Virus is pulmonary, not anorectal. Anybody have this happening, and where? Yeah, I really don't understand why is this happening with the toilet paper. This hasn't been an issue here, so maybe it's some misinformation. As I said, the most important thing is masks and hand sanitizer and washing your hands. Paper, I only see it as a maybe way to like keep your hands dry after you wash them. I really don't know why. Hello from Europe, 4 a.m. here. Yeah, you should go to sleep, Henrik. I will wrap up this pretty soon, guys. Have to go, but yeah, try to scan through those comments here. Hi from Philippines. Stay safe there. I have a potential solution. Do you support eradicating the human race to eliminate the spread of? I don't understand this word. Sorry. Eradicating the human race to eliminate the spread. Statistically proven to work. In my country, borders are closed. We have no school. Everything is closed, etc. My coach train only with me. Do you think it's safe? We know each other, but I have to go outside. Yeah, I understand you. I had this period as well where everything was closed, and I still went outside. I did some training only once a day. I think it's okay if you need to know, like, no, where you were like going around, or you just go straight to the courts. And the same for your coach. You need to be aware of if he or she was going to some public places or some restaurants. You have to be very careful, because again, you never know when you can get infected, and you will not know it like for the 2 weeks. So, but yeah, like, I think it's fine if you go there, you're wearing the mask on the way there, and then on the tennis court you can take it off. But still being very careful with your hands, not touching your face. And some things might even seem silly or like almost unnecessary, but you have to do it. Because once you do all of them, you could feel like, okay, I did everything I could, right? So that's the point. So your post about getting ATP points. Do you plan to travel to play tournaments? Jeremy, thanks. Yeah, I would like to, and I'm still planning and I'm preparing for it. But at this point, it's very tough to make specific plan. It's just extreme situation. So everything is kind of, in the air, and need to make plans on the way. See how everything unfolds. Hopefully, again, the world can uh, control this virus, get under control, same in the same manner as China did. But again, this cannot happen. I think it cannot happen in within next couple of weeks. So it will keep growing, because even here was the case, right? They did all the measures which probably cannot be replicated everywhere else in the world. So I think China, they did like insane work with all the measures. They invested so much, and everybody got involved. And yet we had this period of, I think it's up to like 1 month, that it kept going and growing the numbers. And only then it kind of, it's just it is how it goes, how the virus spreads, and all this, what I explained, the time lag. So even if everybody does everything, it's still gonna happen for the next week or 2 weeks. It's gonna get worse and worse. Unfortunately, there's no way to stop, because again, there are many people already have been infected. So if today every single person starts wearing masks, there are still those people who got infected the previous days, and then for them it's gonna take 2 weeks to get the symptoms. Yeah. Under idealized lab conditions, the coronavirus can survive up to 70 hours on stainless steel. Wow. If that's correct, that's very scary information. Stay safe and wash your hands. Even if you think coronavirus won't hurt you, you might risk spreading it to your parents. Exactly. That's the point. That's a very, very good point. And I said, you wear a mask not just to protect yourself, but also others, because you never know if you have it. And we have a responsibility for others, and especially elderly. We got to protect them. Okay. And I also saw some of the one video, I think, or it was some comments. Sorry, I've seen many things, but they talked about how somebody who thought was infected had to go by himself to the pharmacy or to get some medicine or whatever. No, not infected. He had some symptoms of some uh, health problem, which could be a potential symptom. they still went like by themselves, to buy this thing. And then the advice was, if you have anybody who needs help, like don't allow them to go outside, or whatever you need to do it for them, again, in order to protect the rest, right? So yeah, that's it. uh, do you plan to continue training? Yes, of course. And I haven't stopped. I maybe made like a couple of days, but I've been training nonstop, so I'm good on that. What is your opinion on Nola leaving early before Miami Open was canceled? I read about it, Ernie. Uh, Nothing wrong with that, and I don't see really nothing is wrong with that. And he has his own choice. He can go wherever he wants. You cannot assume that he knew what was the decision. Maybe he just decided to go back because of family, and then you never know what's the real reason. Can Taco Bell combat against coronavirus? Hope so. I wish. I am in the San Francisco Bay Area where there is a live outbreak. I really want to go out and hit, but I want to be safe. Seems like the only risk that you are sharing that is about any tips, wear gloves. Uh, no, definitely not. I don't think wearing gloves. Sharing the tennis balls. Yeah, I mean, you can if you think that somebody who was infected, was using balls, yeah, in that case, it's risky. You can still play, if you just if you play and you don't touch your face at all, just use the balls. Don't bring the hands near your face, and immediately after you wash them very well, put the sanitizer. I think should be fine. But there is always the risk there, right? If you think somebody maybe was infected, it's risky. I don't know how to advise you on this. It's tough. Not sure I believe that China is out of the storm yet. Official, always suspicious. Yeah, I know. You never know. It's the government announcements, and they can also make this controlled news, to make people more panic or less panic, or kind of. But I'm just saying, how is the feeling here? How I feel when I went outside, and uh, it feels different. But everybody did their job with all the measures. It's 1 a.m. I go to school tomorrow. I have a Thanks. Yeah, you too. Stay safe. Mexican cannot help you with the virus. Maybe wasabi. Okay, so you mean because spicy food kill the virus? You can try. I do medical equipment maintenance. My hospital is at 80% capacity, and we only have 2 cases. Yeah, Kyle, I see. I only have 2 cases. I just hope everybody follows the advice, and get more educated. So I think that the main point, the goal is to stop virus from spreading, and you stop it from either not going outside or wearing masks, right? We need to stop it as soon as possible. So again, if at this moment every single person in the world puts the mask on, the virus will be stopped from spreading. I think it cannot be more simple, right? Now,